course,
Absolutely.
it's going to be a great slugfest as usual here on the mid lane. Trying to get as much attention here for Asian Invasion as they can. They do catch up. Oh, they barely
Box
take him
1
out
HP.
as well. Has to use the regeneration to get out. Good thing. Asian Invasion's composition is actually quite slow comparatively. They weren't able to provide that much chase. You can see the sluggishness of this comp right there. They're death marching straight into the jungle here of Revenge. Just gonna be a small trade, right?
But it is going to be a small trade, but you know how they say, the smaller, you know how video game bosses are, the slower they are, the stronger they are, but they're easily avoidable.
Exactly.
That's the good thing about having a Vox and then having having the Arden, because Vox was 1 HP before dying, and then Arden just went ahead and, hey, let me give you a speed boost and a shield.
Exactly. Of course, it's going to be a great fight here for Revenge. They do have the mobility, let's say, the range advantage, mobility advantage. They capitalize. They get first blood right now for Asian. They do. Asian Invasion using that fight very effectively. Great job there.
I like how they stuck together in the early stages so that they can try to go for the ganks, and it's worked out well for them.
Exactly, and you can see the cohesion here. For Asian Invasion, they're really using up the team fighting power here at the comp. And of course, Scarf early game. That's basically all you can expect from Scarf in the early game. Just try to dish up as much damage as he can on the side. But most of that, of course, done with the Silver Nail and the Tony. Very impressive.
Very impressive indeed. And Tony is a champion that you have to look out for, because once they're grouped up together and trying to zone out, like, let's say Scarf or Silver Nail, Tony can just dive in and then just separate you guys without any problems whatsoever. And that's going to prove difficult for Revenge if they choose to go that route. And they do need to go that route because Arden needs to connect the gauntlet. Catherine is going to have everybody crumpled up together to go for the silence.
Absolutely, and you saw earlier, once they get that ultimate, they do have some great, they have their mindset on how to position as a team. So far, it's just safety here for Asian Invasion. After that initial first blood, they slow things down. They try to wait for a good tempo. Of course, everyone's just farming up as much as they can. And, of course, they're doing very cheeky engage here. Cheeky invade, rather, on the jungle. Revenge.
And they are going for the initiate, but Fireblaze, I don't think you should have went
That's
for
actually,
that
that's a long walk, by the way, into a really great spot, though. I mean, Revenge was super hesitant in trying to pick a fight, that they didn't even try to go for Fireblaze when he was just 2 hits away, 2 skills away from dying.
And he still manages to survive.
Yeah, very, very impressive here. He just walked like a god in that fight, man.
Hey, let me just strut my stuff and just do my thing.
And he just walked in like a boss. Nobody touched him. Just like the great granddaddy and the mafia.
Ain't nobody gonna touch the mob boss.
Yeah, Big Don, man. He just like walked in there like a Don from a Godfather, you know? It's actually awesome.
And speaking of walking like a Don in Godfather, they're making it rain with all the mob money they got. 14,000 to 11,000. That's the advantage here that Asian Invasion has, and it's going to prove fatal for Revenge if they don't catch up to this.
Exactly. Of course, Revenge still doing a great job in at least providing pressure. Varia is actually in a great position in terms of farm. Of course, they're going to lose up a tower in the bottom lane, and this could be good here for Asian Invasion. Will they try to get their mark? I think he's actually in a pretty good spot. That's quite a tanky Catherine right there with backup very close behind. They make it out just in the nick of time.
So that was a third conversion. That was nice on Asian Invasion's part. They got the control here at the lower jungle of Revenge. So that's going to open up the map control here. But hold that thought, though.
Oh, let's go. Another easy kill there for Asian Invasion. They're really showing up 4-0 so far, and there's no sign of power, no sign of fight here from Revenge. They're just spamming whatever they can to try to get some damage in, but you know, it's a very sturdy composition here for Asian Invasion.
It is 6-0. It's going to be a bad wake-up call as soon as the mid-game hits.
This could be bad, but of course, Revenge still has some tricks up their sleeves. We haven't seen the super combo here for the Varia, and some, of course, that Glaive not. They're not exactly like grouping up as per se. They're just waiting, and they're waiting for the farm, and maybe, just maybe, they might be waiting a bit too long.
They are actually waiting a bit too long, because with Revenge's composition, they need to go for the ganks, and that's something that Asian Invasion has been constantly doing.
Yeah, they just keep going and going like there's no tomorrow. That's what you get. Great plays here. Asian Invasion, consistent with the harass as well. I mean, considering you're already a very tanky Lance, you know, the damage output's just insane at this point.
It is, and he's still continuing the damage. Lance is not giving a damn at all. Gank me all you want, I'm still going to be the tanky mother lover here over the top lane. But over here in the mid lane, though, Scarf is dropping low on HP. He is silenced. He has to fall back. Not a fight that Asian Invasion really wants.
Absolutely. Of course, they're quite low on HP. Scarf is actually not going to be able to sustain this a long fight. Although, of course, Asian Invasion still making moves on the other parts of the map still. Especially on the Silver Nail. He's very confident as well in taking fights, and I don't expect that to be a safe lane at all, even if you are a Catherine, you know?
But look at this Vox though, dealing damage to Lance, but Lance is
just
still
blocking everything.
Going for
could actually get a kill here if he's not careful. And he's gonna bait up a tower kill. What an attempt there for a trade. It does work out well. Something you don't expect the Lance to actually do. Wow, that's great.
That was I mean, sure he died, but at least he didn't die for nothing. He still got boxed. That was smart movement. If that Impale connected, that would have been a different story.
Completely different story. It does work out in the end here for Revenge, doing quite the aggressive play. They do get some gold onto the Vox. I mean, gold in the Vox is absolutely 100% higher in value compared to gold into the Lance. So maybe, just maybe, they kind of got ahead on that trade, but they do lose a tower for their efforts because, you know, Vox just arrived back in the lane and there was no one left to defend.
Yeah, and being 2 turrets down, Revenge, they need to convert any turrets here so that they don't lose any foothold here in terms of map control. But the ultimate of Scarf is going to be popped here. The gauntlet is going to be a defensive gauntlet.
A very bad position to use that ultimate, way too far out. Of course, they lose one, they lose two. Varia just trying to dish and dash out. Does do significant damage here on Asian Invasion, but is it going to be enough? There's no other ultimates ready here for Revenge. They're just going to be forced to back off. I don't think it's going to be a fight, man.
I don't know why Arden still went inside. They didn't want that.
Here comes the Vox, though, for the follow-up. Gets some mortal wounds. He'll be very scared to make any big engage, and still it's going to be Asian Invasion going strong on the harass. I love this game. Of course, Revenge, they are going to go in and force that out, force the glaive in. Of course, without any backup, that glaive is just going there for nothing.
Oh.
Man, that was bad. And they lose. That was anticlimactic.
This is Asian Invasion is just plowing through them like they're
like
they are
like
Asians.
Knife on butter, man.
Hot knife on butter.
Exactly.
Red hot glowing knife through bowling ball, or
exactly.
I don't know.
It's so sad. It's so sad to see. I mean, they have such a promising composition. I was kind of opting for them instead in this point. They had 2 big DPS carries. They just weren't able to utilize that as much. That Vox does not feel like anything hurtful at all, and that's a problem. That's a problem indeed. I mean, even the Varia tried to output all the DPS she could, just barely making scratch for Asian Invasion. Even though all the ultimates hit, man, that's a big problem.
That is a very big problem, and with the ultimates connecting and not dealing damage at all,
That's sad.
that's sad, really. It's like, hey guys, come on.
This is our best shot. Oops, did that hurt you? Did that tickle? And right now, they are going to be paying for it. 2 members of Asian Invasion harassing 4 for revenge here. And they're the ones backing off. That is just... That should not happen, by the way.
Look at that damage to Catherine. Catherine was half HP. Now she's half of that half HP.
That's sad. And of course, that shouldn't actually happen to a tank. But so far, Asian Invasion making the vertical plays. Hooks into that Arden. He's not even able to pop the gauntlet at all.
Arden is dropping low on HP. Gauntlet will not be popped. Well, there we go. Tony disrupts the gauntlet being popped. Nice timing by Tony. That's going to scatter everyone.
Man, that is just so bad here for revenge. That's almost a sure kill. They do. They secure the Arden 15-2, by the way, on the kill score. Just in case you're wondering. And, of course, we will... kind of makes you wonder what the heck's happening here for revenge. Not really what they had in mind when they were drafting the composition. They did not think that the Varia or the Vox would not be that impactful in the coming fights, and that is exactly what we have here, Mr. Nomad.
Varia, I am disappointed. Varia and Vox should have been able to deal the same amount of damage as Scarf and Silver Nail in the outputting, but it's just that they have been, they've been locked in by Asian Invasion. They weren't able to get good farms because they keep getting ganked left and right, so there's really no chance for them to farm up whatsoever.
Absolutely, and of course that's a good team right there. I mean, not just farming, you're also blocking the enemy farm. That is actually big. Of course, they're gonna go for the Black Claw. Of course, no answer. I mean, they were trying. I mean, they were trying to maybe position themselves. That's 3 members of Revenge for basically the whole team, and there's no way that they were gonna make it in there. Right now, though, Black Claw clawing his way to the mid lane, trying to wait for the next target. Of course, Lance going strong.
He's just going ham on Vox, not giving a damn about the turret.
Oh man, come on!
Catherine is too late in the engagement. Catherine
Way
is
too
just
late.
going to suffer here. That's 5.
That cone of silence will not silence anything. That was just for show right now. Black Claw in the mid lane, the rest of the team on top, wailing on whatever they can reach, and of course it will take the whole team of Revenge to deal with this. Black Claw, they will still lose a turret most likely, and they are going for crystals.
They are going for the armory, and Asian Invasion is already invading the base here, but they are losing the invasion. The gauntlet has been popped.
Oh man, no way. That's not gonna do anything at all. They just sustained on the back end. Scarf doing great job, but so far Varia slowly but surely getting some relevance in the game. Varia and the Vox on a single target, that should get the job done.
That should get the job done, but Scarf, I don't know how he was able to survive the mid lane engagement there against Glaive.
That was impressive. I mean, so far, I mean, that should first of all, that should have been assassination completed, but it didn't. Just goes to show the item gap here for both of these teams, and you just look at that, man. How can you not kill a Scarf outright? That's why. And of course, in order to make the Varia work, you gotta kill some heroes, and that's exactly what happened right there. He needed the help of the Vox though for just a few targets, and once they were basically around the wall, they were wrapped around the edge of the wall. It was very difficult for Asian Invasion to disengage, and that's why they kind of just absorbed all the damage, even though it was not much. Like I keep saying, it did the job, and it was able to force the rest of Asian Invasion from completing the attack.
Yeah, we finally saw a halt in the invasion here, and I think there is already a hole in the plan of Asian Invasion. It's
right
just going to have to depend on how Revenge would be able to read that.
Yep. But so far, if it's like a complete team fight like this, I don't think they're going to take this right here, because Arden goes down as well. It's going to be 3v5. No one left to defend. Tower not even doing any damage there to the Tony. I mean, that tower is just one blow away, one huff away from falling. It does.
And that Armory is going to go down. That Vainglory Crystal is the next objective. Barya is going to pop the ultimate. I don't think it's going to deal a lot of damage, but you know, they're still wiping it out. Asian Invasion is going to take away game number 1 here.
Absolutely. No, I mean, that's just a icing on the cake there.
And they're not
as
ending
they're waiting
it.
for it. They're just styling their way out, padding the KDA, but looks like they're actually suffering quite a bit of damage. In a few moments, they are gonna drown in the Scarf ultimate. That should be it. I don't think. I think the minions are gonna creep it out.
They're gonna
right
let
now.
the minions deal a little bit of taunting there.
Yeah, a little bit of taunt there. Of course, Asian Invasion wins out for the first game of the day in style, if I may add, against Revenge.
So
Clean game there so far.
That is a very clean game, somewhat.